But looking at some of these fun-sized candy bars now, a Three Musketeers is the size of a postage stamp. It's ridiculous.
And whose team is this? Is this your team? Or is this your daddy's team?
Thanks for listening to Dad Mode Podcast. Common sense parenting in a politically correct world. Here's your host, Andy Carlson.
Welcome back to the Dad Mode Podcast, Common Sense Parenting in a Politically Correct World. I'm your host, Andy Carlson, at Andy Carlson Show on the Twitter machine. I'm a father. I have no idea what I'm doing, but you don't either there, Chiefy, so let's try and learn something together today. Website is dadmodepod.com, Twitter at dadmodepod, or use the hashtag dadmode. And today, rolling solo in the studio again today. And Nick is on. Yeah, he'll be back. Everyone loves Uncle Nick. He's the big reason why the show's so popular. But schedule a son. It's crazy. I mean, we scale back to once a week as opposed to 3 days a week during football season. It might not be enough, especially with the kid in the house and everything is busy. It's good times, though. And I wouldn't trade it for the world, but hey, we're cranking out because today is Halloween. And I wanted to drop some random thoughts about Halloween, both as an old man curmudgeon and as a first-time father. And it's Muggsy's first Halloween. It's going to be good times. Let's see here. Costume-wise. All right, so this is good. So last year, November, after Halloween, and all the costumes are on clearance, I picked up a Superman outfit for a 3 to 6 month size, as I knew that's what Muggsy would be next Halloween, as the wife was pregnant at the time, obviously. And, you know, that's how Dad Mode operates. You get a good costume where it was like 80% off, and it was awesome. I think the costume cost $2. And I do think that some parents go way overboard on Halloween. And I mean, it's a spot where the wife and I were decently well off for a newlywed couple. Or, well, not newlywed, married 5 years, but pretty, we're not destitute. We'll put that out there as for a young married couple with a new baby, as far as that can be. But, even once various ventures, start building up and entrepreneurial ventures start rolling in and we start making some decent coin, I'm still not going to waste $100 on a Halloween costume for a kid. And growing up, that was half of the fun / battle / struggle, was being able to craft your own Halloween costume out of just random material. You really had to MacGyver that shit. It's true. Because, back in the day, I feel like people were more financially frugal. And I do believe that a lot of the parents spending buku bucks on Halloween costume for kids that they're only going to wear once and then throw away, or pack up in a box and then put it in the garage and forget about until you move or die. And, well, not the kids, the parents. I mean, let's not be morbid here. But I do think it is fueled a lot by social media. The whole, I'm going to put up 17 pictures because my kid is so cute and that sort of thing. Here's the rules. You get one photo, just like the first day of school. You get one photo on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and that's it. You're done. We don't need a whole album to see little Johnny dressed up as a pumpkin, although that would be pretty cute. Anyways, back to my childhood. I was trying to think of what my Halloween costumes were. Now, I don't have too many photos, so I don't know what I was, or if I even had a costume when I was like 2, 3, 4, that sort of age. And see, I don't know if there was as much of a movement for dressing up, 2 and 3, 4-year-olds back then, because, who's going to see the kid? Maybe some family members, maybe some friends, and, that's about it. But with social media, you got to dress your kid up because, oh my God, I got to get the likes, and oh my God, and all the other good stuff. And hey, I'm guilty of that too. But I do try to rein it in. I don't want to be the parent that posts a photo a day, even though I have slipped because Muggsy's so freaking cute. I'm not gonna lie. I cannot lie. I can be objective when talking about the cuteness of my child, who is a foot away from me in studio right now. Say hi, Muggsy. She's a good-looking kid. You know, she gets all her looks from her mother. She gets a little Asianness from her dad, and it's a good combo. Yeah, it's not bad. I already have an arsenal of shotguns because the boys will be calling, and I will be ready. And I'm thinking about preemptively going to prison for, I'm not a violent person, except it does have to be a violent crime, doesn't it? To fully intimidate the suitors when they knock at the door for, me to take your daughter to homecoming, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. All right, so I already got tangenting. My Halloween costumes growing up as a kid, and they were all homemade, and they did have some aspects to it and they were freaking awesome. They were so good. So one year I was a Ghostbuster, and I did have the proton pack toy, so I had that, and then, my dad gave me all like the suit, and we had a little like brownish snowmobile suit for like a kid, and we tailored that, and took some electrical tape and then wrote my name, Carlson, on there. It's like, yeah, I'm a Ghostbuster. Come at me, bro. It was good times. Let's see, other years I was Batman. We did buy the cowl, except the rest of the costume, like the whole chest and the Batman logo on the chest and the cape, that was all homemade. And then let's see what else here. Oh, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. That was all homemade. I have a picture of it somewhere. I might use that as the show or the blog post or whatever. And yeah, I mean, looking back, you appreciate those moments more because I remember just sitting down with my dad or my grandpa and then working on those costumes, cutting cardboard or foam rubber and painting and drawing on stuff, as opposed to, oh, hey, we're going to go Halloween Express. Here's $100. Oh, here's a costume. Now, kids aren't going to appreciate that. Kids aren't going to have good memories of that. I mean, it's just like, oh, yes, and then I never wore the costume again. So, yeah, that's kind of annoying. Let's see here. As far as kids' costumes go, and the wife and I are really excited because this is the first time that we're in our house and we're in a neighborhood where there's going to be foot traffic. There's going to be kids walking around, so we're going to have trick-or-treaters, and it's going to be so awesome. And another rant I want to go on is the size of these fun size candy bars. So back in my day, you would get some houses that did the full size candy bars, and those were awesome. But predominantly it was like you get the gigantic mixed bag of fun size candy bars, and they were decent size. I'd say probably like the length of your index finger. Well, not Jason Pierre-Paul's index finger, but a normal person's index finger. Yeah, about that long and a little bit wider. And yeah, that's what a fun size candy bar should be. But looking at some of these fun size candy bars now, a Three Musketeers is the size of a postage stamp. It's ridiculous. It is crazy. And I know what it is. It's like, well, these kids are getting too much sugar. Well, then, you know what? I guess you're kind of combating that because they have to burn a calorie to open up 7 of these little things to get the same chocolate as one regular fun-sized bar back in the day. But I digress. Anyways, we're excited to have trick-or-treaters this year, and we're excited to see all of the costumes. Now, as far as kids' costumes go, I like when there's effort put in. Like, I don't like when kids just throw on a jersey and be like, oh, I'm Teddy Bridgewater. Give us some candy. And I know that, not all kids or parents are that creative and stuff, but that just seems kind of lazy. I mean, the kid already has the jersey, and he just, that he wears it like 4 days a week because he loves the Vikings, loves Teddy. Because I know back in the day, and I feel like this is probably pretty common for a lot of Minnesota young boys growing up, and some girls, you would wear your Chris Carter jersey Mondays after a Vikings game, Fridays before a Vikings game, and probably Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday as well. Because Chris Carter was the shiz. Also Randy Moss too. Randy Moss was the nizzles as well. But I feel like that's a little lazy, but I kind of get it. Now, if you want to, now I'm not talking about when they put on the shoulder pads and the helmet on. That's pretty cool. And then, the kids, spray paint some old shoes purple. It's like, oh, I'm Teddy, and I'm awesome. It's good stuff. See, I like that. As far as other costumes go, like witch, princess, very traditional. As long as it's not Frozen, and Frozen bugs the hell out of me because it's going to be 3 straight Halloweens where that's going to be the number one costume, and it's just like I have issues with the movie mainly because of the overblown popularity. It's kind of like Tim Tebow, or it's kind of like it's kind of like the overcoverage of Odell Beckham Jr. in the NFL. So, this guy comes off the hamstring injury, does very well for 12 games, makes one crazy catch, and the rest of the offseason, I blame ESPN. It's just a parade of Odell Beckham Jr. kicked a ball. What can't this guy do? And then they had segments where it's like, Odell, can you catch this? And then they threw like muskmelon at him. It's like, oh yeah, I can catch that. And it's the whole over coverage, and I know that the media just has to grab onto something and then just shake it like a dog until it like dies and stuff. But I didn't care for the over coverage of Odell Beckham. He is a good player, but they're basically put him in the Hall of Fame after 12 games in the offseason, and he hasn't looked that great this year. So it's exactly like that with Frozen. It's an okay movie. It is flawed. I do have issues with it. It's not as good as Tangled, which a lot of people put in the same boat. It's not even close. But the over coverage and the overhype is what drives me nuts. Yeah. Let's see here. What else? Superman. Oh, Muggsy. Superman. Are you ready to be Superman? Supergirl? Super Lady? Wonder Woman? Super Muggsy? She's got nothing. She's giving me a smile though. Oh, I will say that the thing that I love most about the kid, like besides yes, she's my daughter and I love her, blah blah blah. But one of the more superficial things I love about Muggsy is that whenever I look at her and I start talking to her, she just gets this big ass smile on her face, and she's like, oh my god, it's awesome being a parent. It's awesome having no money and not sleeping a whole lot. But hey, they are worth it. There you go. Let's see, Batman, Ghostbusters, I feel like might make a comeback, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it's gotta be the old style. I have no idea what the hell these new turtles are. I mean, they look like the aliens from District 9, and I don't understand it. I honestly feel like it's borderline child abuse, what they're putting these new kids through with the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, and the animated series for that matter. It has to go back. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original movie, Secret of the Ooze, Turtles 3, Turtles in Time, and the original animated series where it was this crappy Korean animation, and every time Leonardo turned his head, he suddenly turned into Donatello because the coloring wasn't right, and that was the best show ever. That was fantastic. It was good. Yeah. Let's see here. What else? Now, I do like when parents are clever and do dress the kids up as pop culture references that the kid will have no frame of reference for when they get older and see the pictures. I do like that. I do think it is a little narcissistic as well because this wasn't happening. Yeah, Muggsy agrees with me. This wasn't happening 10 years ago when there wasn't or 15 years ago, 20 years ago when there wasn't social media. But they do this so they can get the picture, get a bunch of likes on Facebook and Instagram and yada yada. But I do think it is funny, like when parents dress kids up as Walter White or Sons of Anarchy or Game of Thrones or something like that. I think that's funny. I think it is cute. I think it's kitschy. I think it's creative. I do think it's extremely narcissistic though, but that's okay. That's the society we live in. Yeah, hey. I agree. What else? Yeah, Muggsy would want to be Walter White, except, oh no, maybe she should be Better Call Saul. That's good. I love both shows, by the way. Huge fan. As far as candy goes, yeah, you like candy? Yeah, you like when we're talking candy. I am much more laissez-faire on Halloween as opposed to the rest of the year. So yeah, I'm not a I'm not going to be like one of those parents that's like, my child only eats organic, sugar-free, high fructose corn syrup free, gluten-free, taste-free foods. And he will eat that every day of his life. And he'll never have any peanuts because he's allergic to peanuts. Well, maybe he's allergic because you never exposed him to them. Maybe that it? Good times. Yeah. Muggsy's having peanut butter and jelly. I don't care. But on Halloween, it's like it's YOLO. It should be, whatever, because it's one night a year. Let the kids have fun, and it's supposed to be a good memory. And getting back to my original point, I'm not going to be like one of those giant, yeah, well, the giant restrictive parents as far as diet. I mean, we will eat healthy, but it'll be more because not what we say, it's about what we do. I mean, the wife and I will, we cook with whole foods, and we try and stay away from a lot of processed stuff, and not too much sugar. I mean, ice cream treat every now and then. There's nothing wrong with that, baby. And that's the way we're gonna raise our kids. As a little bit every now and then, it's fine. And if you eat well 80% of the time, and the rest of the 20% of the time you just kind of enjoy yourself, it's not a bad ratio. But on Halloween, anything goes. And when Muggsy and her like future brothers and sisters get older, I mean, going out and getting a bag full of candy, and if it's school night, you can have 5 pieces, half dozen, something like that, and then you save the rest. And you know what? I'm definitely gonna treat my kids trick or treating like the mafia. I mean, you gotta pay to be able to operate in this neighborhood, and just want to wet my beak a little bit of the vig. So I'm gonna harvest 30% of their candy right off the top before taxes. Yeah, what do you think about that, Muggsy? Going out and getting daddy's candy, and I promise I won't take all the choice stuff. The Snickers bars, the Starburst, the Sprees. Let's see, what else is good. Oh, the little pouches of Starburst jelly beans. Hell yeah. But yeah, I'm not saying I won't not take all the premium. Yeah, I mean, it'll be an even cut. It'll be an even swath. Although the most worthless candy, and we've been saying this for years, it's not candy corn, because I kind of actually like candy corn, and even the little pumpkin soup. But the black and orange wrapped little peanut butter things, I don't know where those came from, but they've been circling around since 1950. I think they're the same ones, because I think kids who get them trick-or-treating just give them to their parents, and then the parents save them, and then they hand them out next Halloween. That's exactly what happens. Ain't nobody got time for those. Ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah. Another little pet peeve about trick-or-treating is when parents from, how do I put this? Let's say a lower socioeconomic neighborhood just go and pilfer the higher socioeconomic neighborhoods. And it's something that you can't control. I mean, unless you have a gated community, because the parents ain't going to be like, hey, live around here, because they're not going to recognize a lot of kids anyways because they're wearing masks. And you're not going to give the kid like the nth degree. But when you see the like rusted out Ford or Aerostar or Dodge Caravan rolling up in the really nice neighborhood, maybe. I mean, that's a little weak sauce. You got to have some neighborhood pride. And I understand if you live in the country or live in an area that doesn't have a lot of people who hand out candy, that's perfectly fine. But you can't go around cherry picking like the nicest neighborhoods. I mean, what does that teach your kids? It'd be like, hey, we live in the slums and we're not doing anything to get out of it, but one night a year we get to go take advantage of all the rich people. And that doesn't teach a good lesson, and it's overall just weak sauce. It's terrible parenting. It's bad. I mean, yes, you do get the slight boost like, oh, Mom, you're the coolest. They're handing out full-size Butterfingers. But hey, once that candy's gone, so is that euphoria, and so is your sense of dignity and class and decorum. Because that was already gone anyways. It's fine. So those are some quick thoughts on Halloween. And the whole, the parents who give out the raisins or the fruit or the toothbrush, get out of here. Get the hell out of here and give us some candy. I mean, seriously. All right. Those are some quick thoughts about Halloween. Muggsy is going to be Supergirl. And also I picked up a little Batman mask. So we're going to be Batman versus Superman. Dun, dun, dun. Even though the whole conspiracy theory about Ben Affleck isn't really Bruce Wayne in the Batman versus Superman movie, and Christian Bale is going to show up again, I don't believe it, but I kind of like it. I mean, I'm a big conspiracy theory guy, but yeah. Anyways, support the show. Tell a friend, tell a coworker, tell a lover, tell a mistress, tell a manstress, tell everyone about Dad Mode. There's like, hey, you know, parenting's hard, and there's this guy who puts out a little podcast every now and then that talks some noise about some crappy parents that annoy the hell out of us, and yeah, other good things. Also, Amazon, dadmodepod.com, top left corner, click through our Amazon banner. It'll take you to Amazon. Bookmark that link. And every time you buy something from Amazon, which you already do anyways, use the link and we'll get a taste and keep the lights on Dad Mode Pod. Now, Muggsy, do you have any parting thoughts before we go? Yeah? Yeah, tell the people something. Okay, she's got nothing. Show's available on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at DadModePod or me at Andy Carlson Show. Website is dadmodepod.com. But we go. We'll see you next Saturday. Be a man, be a father, and go Dad Mode. See you next time, baby.
Think the episode you just heard is worth $1? Well, send it our way. Visit dadmodepod.com/support to find out how. Be a man, be a father. Go Dad Mode. The music is created and produced by deeB. To hear more of his tracks, visit soundcloud.com/deeB.